and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liss. I'm a Science of Mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use this space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring.
Today, Liss and I are going to be sharing our perspectives regarding embodiment. First, of course, we would look at exactly what is embodiment? What does that even mean? And in my perspective, embodiment is bringing the non-physical into the physical. Well, what does that mean? So if we think about thoughts or beliefs or emotions or even spiritual concepts, these are all things that we can't really touch or taste. Maybe sometimes we can smell them, but they're more concepts or ideas that are not quite into the physical body yet, but they are brought into the physical experience because that's what makes up life, right? So when we say our thoughts, for example, our thoughts and our beliefs are essentially how we perceive life, and our perceptions are very, very powerful. They I don't know, conduct our life, for lack of a better word, or bring about our reality. And that really generates down into the physical body. And I immediately start thinking of emotion, because emotion can be electric. It can be electrifying. It can feel very intense, and we can feel a lot of emotion and the energy of the emotion in the body, but emotions themselves are not physical. So to me, that's kind of a really clear graphic demonstration of embodiment, is when we feel the electricity or the vibrations of those emotions in the physical body. We are embodying those emotions, right? What say you? Am I on the right track here for what you perceive embodiment is? Or am I way out in left field, misunderstanding embodiment altogether?
Not at all, Laurie. In fact, in my notes for this topic, if I was the one who had started us off on this conversation, my very first point was about conceptualization. So no, you're 100% on track. But before I elaborate a little, one of the things I just wanted to point out is what's so amazing about the word embodiment itself. The three syllables literally of M, body, and mint. M is emotion, body is the body, and mint is mind. So embodiment is literally the word that means this trinity of the physical experience of us. So it's literally the word that defines the becoming of something. And to me, that's the heart of what embodiment is. But like everything in life, it has two ways that we can look at it. First of all, we are embodied as we sit here right now. We are incarnate into this physical expression. A higher aspect of our energetic dimension is projecting our consciousness into this embodiment. That's what incarnation in 3D is. So as we sit here, we are embodied. Our essence is embodied. More than that, we are also embodying whatever our current emotional state is, whatever the quality of our energy field is, whatever our subconscious beliefs are, whatever thoughts we are currently resonating with. We are embodying those things, as well as the ones that we have inculcated and identified with over the course of our lives. Very often when we think of embodiment, we think about it from the point of view of, what do I want to embody? What have I not embodied that I would like to? What do I prefer? What am I choosing? But it's not about a chosen state coming into a vacuum. Nothing is empty. There is already something there that if we don't first eradicate, we can't replace with that which we do choose. And that is what we very euphemistically refer to as healing.
Yeah.
Anytime that we are changing programming, anytime that we are processing an emotion, anytime that we are clearing energy, why are we doing that? It's not just for fun. It's not just because we think we'll feel better. It's because we're actually first creating the space that something chosen and higher can now come and fill, and we can embody.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And I think, I couldn't agree more, because as you know, I often focus on the physical body's ability to heal. But first, we do have to make space. We have to make room for that new to come in, whether it's a new job or a new relationship or, new cells. We have to make room for what we do want to come into that space that we create. And I immediately think of money. We have to make room for money to come into our lives. If we've got all of these false beliefs about money or unhealthy beliefs about money or anything, really, it doesn't have to always be about money, right? But I really feel like for many of us, I'm not speaking of the whole world, but for many of us, our thoughts and our beliefs that generate our lives are often in our way. So in order to usher in what we do want, we got to make room, right? Like you said, we have to eradicate what is not working to make room for what we do want.
Yeah, like toxins clearing out of the body. Toxins have to clear out of all of our fields and all of our bodies. They have to clear out of our mental constructs. They have to clear out of our emotional field, especially our pain body. They have to clear out of our light body and our energy field. And then the quantum can work.
Mm-hmm.
If we haven't opened up those energetic pathways, what's it supposed to flow through to get to us?
Exactly.
Because we will flow it out in turn into our reality. But we have to be able to embody and ground it here first. And I think one of the things that people struggle with most, from a construct point of view, is wrapping their heads around the fact that we first have to get the concept right, because that is its structure. It has no structure and it has no foundation if we don't have the concept right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most damaging concepts that we hold here in 3D is the illusion of separation. It's the illusion of time and the illusion of space. So if we want to embody anything at all, the first thing we have to do is change our concept around being separated from it to begin with.
Yeah.
Because we never are.
Never.
When I am at one with something, when I recognize that there is no distance between me and it, and there is no difference between me and it, that's when I've created the space in which I can actually embody it. Because embodiment, again, is the becoming. I cannot become something that I don't identify with first. I have to undo the separation between and identify with it as myself. So I am already all the wealth I could ever want. And if I'm not, then I'm never going to see that reflected in my reality if I can't first embody it conceptually. So if I can't believe it, if I can't bring myself in alignment with that greater truth, I'm never going to get to experience it. Because how's it supposed to come?
And I think, I'm speaking for myself, and I know I can't be the only one. I think that's probably one of the hardest parts to really conceptualize, because we always strive for the things that we want. It's challenging to already know that there really isn't any space between where we are right now and what it is that we want. It's this constant striving for that we tend to get caught up in, and that striving for keeps leaving that thing out in the future.
Yes,
so it's
exactly.
a bit of a flip in the brain to really reverse that thing that we want is actually already ours. There is no gap. There is no space between. I love how you say that, the gap between, there isn't one. There isn't anything that separates us from what it is we think we don't have. And that
the thing is, Laurie, we look at material reality with material eyes. And so we see time and we see space and we experience the future. And so the easiest way for me to wrap my mind around a different conceptual construct is to not look at its form, but to look at its essence. So again, let's use money as an example. Money is a symbolic form of something. What's it a symbolic form of? It is symbolic of the energy I expend and the energy you give me in return for the energy I expend. So whether that energy is 8 hours a day of my life that I spend in a job in return for what the money you give me as a salary check, or however, my creativity in the form of a piece of art that you then give me money for. Either way, it's an energy exchange. So we can look at money in its material form and say, oh, but it's not here. Or I don't have enough of it. Or it's in short supply. Because that is the 3D material reality. But in essence, in energy, how unlimited is my energy in potential? And how unlimited could the exchange of that energy to me therefore be? So how do I become money? I can't become money. How do you become money? How do you embody money? That's impossible. Money is a symbol. But can I become the unlimited energy of potential abundance?
Right.
Yes, because I already am it. And it's no different whether we're talking about health, or we're talking about a career goal that you want to achieve, or a type of car that you'd like to have in your garage. The material form is not what's important. What matters is connecting to the essence of what it's a symbol of, because that we already are. And that's what's always given. It's already, if you like, in the rearview mirror.
And I was just going to say, you know, particularly with health, it can be challenging to bring that health in when we don't feel well. But if we look at it, like you said, as a symbol, and literally just as an energy, it becomes a lot easier to bring that into embodiment, right? We don't have to keep it far off in the future as something that we're trying to achieve or attain. If we can just look at it as, like you said, as a symbol, the symbol of what I want to manifest in my body.
Yeah, what is the symbolic manifestation of a symptom of disease? What is it in its essence? In its essence, it's a gift, it's a grace, and it's a message. So we don't have to give it any more reality than that. We have to bring awareness to what is it a grace for? What is it a message of? What is it trying to show me I lack? Because in the well of being, there is only well-being. Disease is not real. It's not an energetic thing. It's an absence of wellness. That's what's real. So I can embody complete wellness in spite of my symptoms because I am it in my essence, in my energy, in truth. I am well and I have always been. And that is the conceptual construct on which I can build actual fleshed out 3D health in my body. But if I don't first wrap my identification around that construct, how's my body supposed to come along for the journey?
Mm-hmm.
The body doesn't do anything in isolation. We need embodiment. We need the mind, we need the emotion, and the body. But we want to make the material real. So the symptom, that's real. The lack, the disease, that's real. We want to make that real and discount the actual reality, which is its energetic essence. Where's it coming from? And everything that we don't want to experience is the manifestation of the lack of the truth and the true essence.
The lack of the truth. I love that. Poof. I love that. Let's expand that a little bit. So we go back to beliefs, right? What is it that we believe? And what is it that we are willing to relinquish about that belief and develop new beliefs about what is true? And
yes,
bring that truth into our, literally right into ourselves, into our body. Lack of truth. I really like that.
I can't bring to my recollection this minute who said this quote, but it's a very, very famous quote. And that is that all disease is a defense against the truth.
Mm.
Now, why would we defend against the truth?
Yeah.
We would only defend against the truth if we are identified with what is not true. And our sense of security is wrapped up in that identification.
Mm-hmm.
So we defend against the truth because we would lose an egoic identity comfort zone if we were to acknowledge what the truth actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why so often we are living contradictions, because what we say we want and what we actually do embody couldn't be further apart.
Mm-hmm. And you, excuse me,
we
you
want
mentioned...
to embody something. Sorry, honey.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
If we want to embody something that we haven't embodied before, or we haven't embodied to the level that we would ideally choose to, so whether that's a certain financial status or a certain state of physical health, or a certain status in our love relationships, if we wish to embody something that we haven't experienced before, then we have to get brutally and painfully honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to ask ourselves, what am I defending against? Because if I really wanted health, I would be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
If I really wanted wealth, I would be wealthy. If I really wanted my true love in my life, I would have them. So why don't I? What's keeping it from me?
Mm-hmm.
And get brutally, brutally honest about that. Because the truth is, there is a belief that is afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And that is defending against that thing that we say that we want. We've got to uncover that belief and then be willing to change it. And very often, what was programmed in on a subconscious level wasn't even ours to begin with. Very often, we have beliefs that we are not consciously aware of until we are willing to actually come into that space of questioning ourselves. So take some courage to look at, what do I say I want that's not present in my life? And then be brave enough to ask, what might be the belief under that that is causing me to go without this thing that I wish to embody? And there's always a message of grace in there. There's always a mind-blowing realization moment in there about what your power actually is and what the truth actually is. And then to have the courage to truly wrap your identity around that and to stop being afraid of it. Because our freedom, like we've said in episodes before, our freedom lies in the truth.
Mhm. And we do have to be willing to step outside of our security, our comfort zone with what's familiar in order to start asking those questions. It's like we kind of have to go back to being a kid and being curious about everything again. Being curious enough to, like you said, to ask the tough questions, but we can't ask the tough questions when we're more committed to our comfort zone, to what's familiar. We can't stay in what's familiar and expand. So we
Right,
do have
because
to
that's
choose.
fair.
We do have to choose that expansion and be tired enough of our current situation to say, you know what, I need to know more. I need to know more about what drives me, what perceptions have been driving the bus this whole time, and let go of that which no longer serves, right?
Yes, to truly come into complete alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Do not only see the truth and acknowledge the truth, but to be able to, to be able to line ourselves up mentally, emotionally, physically, and in our actions with what that truth is. So I can't be aligning myself with wealth and simultaneously be complaining about the cost of things all the time, because that is out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not going to put me in the flow of that portal that can bring what I am embodying to me in my reality. I can think right, I can feel right, but I have to move right in my life. And when we see things like that, when we see incongruities, when we see where we are contradicting ourselves, that's when we have the ability to recognize it and change. And that's when we get different results.
Mm. Misalignment is merely an invitation to return to your true essence, right?
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. Return to your true essence. I love that.
Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.